And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing.
No, bro, I know Crawford, and he's different. And see, the only thing different here is Canelo is not a bigger guy at that weight. He's not like he's standing 6'1", 6'2" like before.
Terence Crawford been amazing with everything that he's done, so.
Floyd Mayweather sends strong message to Canelo after training with Crawford. Floyd Mayweather isn't holding back. After working with Terence Crawford, he took a direct shot at Canelo Alvarez, calling him easy work. Floyd reminded everyone that he beat Canelo when he was nearly 40 years old, and says the hype around Canelo is overblown. He also spoke out about how American fighters don't get the respect they deserve. According to Floyd, fans act like Canelo is unbeatable, but in his eyes, Canelo isn't nearly as dangerous as people make him out to be.
You can take a guy like Canelo, this guy can do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Jeff Mayweather praises Crawford as a rare talent who can outsmart Canelo. Jeff Mayweather has high praise for Terence Crawford, calling him a once-in-a-generation fighter. He says Crawford has that rare skill to move up in weight and still take control, and not many can do that, especially against someone like Canelo Alvarez. Jeff points to Crawford's sharp technique, discipline, and high fight IQ as what sets him apart. While he respects Canelo's strength and experience, he believes Crawford is simply the more complete fighter, both physically and mentally. In Jeff's eyes, Crawford won't just keep up with Canelo, he'll outshine him.
All right, Jeff, looks like we got a fight coming up in the fall here between Terence Crawford and Canelo. Fight that's been talked about a long time. Initial thoughts on the potential of this fight?
Great fight, two great fighters. I think that moving up 2 weight classes, it's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it will be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win, and take advantage of Canelo's mistakes.
Shannon Briggs gets personal about Crawford versus Canelo. Shannon Briggs opened up about watching Terence Crawford grow over the years, saying it's emotional to see him now preparing for the biggest fight of his career. Briggs believes Crawford won't just win, he'll stop Canelo. Speaking from experience, Briggs says Crawford's focus is razor-sharp, and his journey to this moment has been incredible. For him, this fight isn't just another matchup, it's the payoff of years of hard work, and he's confident Crawford is ready to make a powerful statement.
What did you make of all the pushing, the shoving, the build-up, the anticipation, the weight differences too?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great fight. I got Crawford by stoppage, and I've known him since he was a little kid, 12 years old. So to see him now fighting for a title in such a big fight, it's a great experience, great to see.
Last question for me then, how do you think Crawford stops him? How do you think he's able to work Canelo enough for him to stop the fight, knock him down? How do you think this is possible by Crawford style?
He gonna box him. He can fight both ways. He gonna trick him up. One thing Canelo showed is that he can be outboxed. But I think this time in the late rounds, I think Crawford gonna have something for him.
Shannon, always good to see you, my friend.
You're the best, champ. Let's go, champ.
Al Bernstein breaks down why Crawford has a real shot at beating Canelo. Veteran analyst Al Bernstein takes a thoughtful look at Terence Crawford's move up in weight, and he doesn't think it's as risky as some believe. He points out that Canelo isn't the same explosive fighter he was 5 years ago. Age, ring wear, and changes in strategy have taken a bit of the edge off. Bernstein sees this version of Canelo as vulnerable, and says a focused, technically sharp fighter like Crawford could be the one to expose it.
Wait for Crawford to go up to. He started below 147, obviously, as a fighter, so he's going pretty far up in weight. Now, Canelo himself was a 154-pounder, so, you know, he went all the way up to 168, but there's a little difference there. And I think that that's a big issue. Now, whether that's enough to make it impossible for Crawford to win this fight, that remains to be seen. This is a different Canelo Alvarez. It's not the same one from 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, or even 3. So there's that. And then there's all the different eccentricities of each boxer. For Crawford, he's not going to hurt Canelo. But almost nobody hurts Canelo. He's got a rock chin. But can Crawford, who isn't always a volume puncher, make sure that if he's being the boxer puncher, he throws enough punches to win every round? Right. That's important. Right. And for Canelo, if he doesn't hurt Terence Crawford, which he might, can he sustain in those later rounds where we've seen Canelo Alvarez from time to time just fade a little bit? Crawford's a very good fighter into the later rounds. We saw him stop Porter, and we've seen him have other excellent performances. So, there's a lot of those questions swirling around. But right now, I don't know if I could pick either guy, really. I would have said Canelo Alvarez before.
Crawford's smart, precise style could be the key against Canelo. Terence Crawford's strength lies in his precision, sharp timing, and ability to adapt. Whether he's fighting orthodox or southpaw, he always knows how to control the distance and stay a step ahead. He doesn't rush, he studies his opponents, picks up on their patterns, and breaks them down piece by piece. Against a powerful and well-timed puncher like Canelo, Crawford's biggest advantage is his ability to avoid risky exchanges and set the pace of the fight. He's not just talented, he's one of the smartest fighters in the game.
Somebody whose style is based around being the bigger guy, being the stronger guy. But Crawford is a very cerebral, very technical boxer, and I think that's why I'd never really considered this before. But also, I didn't actually realize until I sat down properly and thought about this, just how much weight Crawford has been piling on when he gets into the ring after the weigh-in. And look, these are not numbers that are out of the ordinary, but he's obviously cutting himself down so much in camp from whatever his walking around weight is. And it must be muscle that he's taking off. And perhaps that's why he's only fighting once a year, because there will be some fat, of course there will be, but the dude is not overweight. The dude still looks pretty ripped from what I've seen when he's not in training camp. However, there's not that many photos of him with his top off when he's not actually in training camp. So it's really hard to tell what his body composition is when he's walking around at these big weights. But the fact is, his fight night weight was 169 let's just call it 170 pounds.
Crawford's move to 168 is about more than just weight. It's about making history. Jumping from 147 to 168 pounds is no small feat, but Terence Crawford is doing it with purpose. Whether you call it a 2 or 3 division leap, one thing is certain, no one has ever tried to become undisputed in 3 different weight classes. Crawford is aiming to be the first. What stands out is how he's handling the change. He's not just putting on pounds, he's building his body for top-level performance. His conditioning is still world-class, showing that this move isn't about bulking up, it's about rising to a whole new level.
69 let's just call it 170 pounds, which is huge. Absolutely huge for a 154 pounder. Especially, it's just shocked me that he's come up from 135 and now he's still putting on that much weight. He's rehydrating that much at 154. And indeed, to bring us even closer to the modern day, the thing that was posted, and again, this is the second time we've seen this, is why I'm kind of thinking there's a bit of a theme here with Crawford posting his weight when he's not actually in full training camp. On February the 9th, 2025, he posted an Instagram story and he showed himself weighing 186 pounds on a gym scale. Now, that's so much bigger than I imagined Crawford would be. I never thought this guy would walk around at 186 pounds. Which for anyone who needs the conversion is just over 84 kilograms. And now look, it's not an unthinkable weight for someone, but for someone who has fought as low as Crawford has, who is generally as lean and as in shape as Crawford is, that's a lot of weight. I've tried to find photos of Crawford from around that time, and I can't really dig anything out to show you what he was looking like at that weight. But that's pretty big. And there was a bit of a joke in the Piers Morgan interview I noticed and I clocked, where Piers asked him what he was weighing right now. He said, I weigh 155 pounds. And I just thought to myself, there's absolutely no chance. Why would he bulk up and then in the space of just over 4 months cut the best part of 31 pounds? Like, that makes no sense. So he was definitely joking about that, just like he was joking about only earning 10 million for this fight. So when he fights Canelo, he's going to be at the super middleweight limit, which is 168 pounds. So when you look at that, you sort of go, okay, that's an 18-pound weight cut, which is not bad at all. But 186 is his walking around weight. So what will his weight be that he actually cuts from to make 168?
David Benavidez stirs controversy with bold accusation against Canelo. David Benavidez isn't known for holding back, and his recent comments about Canelo Alvarez have sparked fresh controversy. Benavidez openly suggested that Canelo may have used steroids, saying he has no doubt in his mind, though there's no solid proof. His accusation adds fuel to ongoing doubts some fans already have about Canelo's physical edge, especially now, as he gets older and prepares to face lighter, but highly skilled opponents like Terence Crawford.
He was 100% confident in himself. I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him. So he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya.
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. All those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.